How's it going, Greg? Trust you well. We're going to begin 11:05. How's it going, Mr. Danny? We will begin 11:05. Seth, brother, man, good to see you again. Compliments to the new year. We'll begin at 11:05. Just making sure people have access to the link. Oh man, agents, you guys are a special bunch. I like you guys. The link is there, but then people will still struggle. So just want to quickly make sure that's all perfect. I am recording the meeting today, and then I will also send over the replay tomorrow morning. For those who don't know, since we're here, I'd as well just quickly share. What I've decided to do, especially with these sessions, is I record them and then I put them in basically a what's working right now session. So that's where I put them all in there, and then all the ones that I've done, they're all in here. So I'm happy to share the link. Is there even a way to share a link here? Yes. We'll see. Yes, I think there is. Yes, there is. Okay, yeah. So if you guys want access to these previous sessions that we did, I'm happy to do that. So last week, what did we cover last week? Yeah. So last week, which was session number 5, I basically did everything step by step. So from the beginning, I literally created an ad from scratch. My whole entire process. I went to Canva, then I went to Meta, then I set up the audiences, then I did the targeting. I also then did a current ad that was still doing very well for all of our clients at the moment right now. So I set up that exact same ad from scratch, also using GPT. It was a very, very informative. A lot of people really enjoyed last week's session. So if you're looking for something step by step, highly suggest session number 5 is really powerful. I think you guys would find it really great. So Sydney, I've got the replay. I'm happy to send you the replay, and then you can check it out. I'll do that towards the end, just so at least I don't get distracted. Awesome, Sydney. Yeah, so that's what we did. That was this session here. And then I did session number 4. People also like session number 4. What did I do session number 4? Guys, they're very valuable. They're very I'll put it there. So my focus, guys, really with these sessions is I get a lot of questions from you guys, and sometimes it's very difficult to put it into a 30-minute chat, or it's very difficult to explain it over text because there's a lot of different moving parts. So I just decided that, you know what, every Thursday, 11 o'clock, I'm just going to go live, and I'm just going to give away everything, like the process, how we set up the ads, the result, everything, just so that at least if you would like to build it out yourself and use it yourself, you've got access towards that. But yeah, I think way too many people, especially in the space that I'm in, they like to contract or hoard information just so that you can work with them. Nah, I just decided that this I'm giving away everything. So if you guys find it valuable, great. If not, hey, sure, you'll find someone else who can help and assist you there. So cool. We'll begin in the next minute. I was just telling Sydney, guys, get yourself. I always forget to restock on my water, but it's all good. If I get caught in mouth, it's all right. I'll be strong today. Last week's session, I was literally, because I can see the sun is gonna brine me again today, but we're blessed. We're happy for the sun, and I'm happy to begin, guys. So yeah, we're gonna start. Just want to quickly put a setting here just to get people in. You don't have to always. Okay, perfect. Just so I'm not distracted. Okay, cool, guys. So let me quickly share my screen and let's begin. Need your eyes, your ears, your full attention. This is going to be really powerful. If you have any questions, please put it into the chat, and then we shall begin. I'm going to have to fly through these things because there is quite a lot to discuss, but I've learned how to explain complex things in simplistic terms. So I'll do the best that I can just to explain it, but if maybe I've missed a lot, please let me know, and then I'm happy to break it down again. So in today's session, what I'm going to be really covering is how do you turn a super cold lead into a lead who's like, you know what, let's work together. I'm ready to go. What do I have to do? Let's go. Okay. And it's a very simple process, but I noticed many agents miss a few steps in the process. All right. And because they miss a few steps in the process, that's where things start to break. It's like, for example, if you're driving a manual car, right? If you miss a simple step, like let's say clutch in and you change the gear, no matter what you do, you can cuss at the car, you can do whatever, but the car is not going to move in that progression or the acceleration until you put your foot in the clutch and then you change the gear. And then you clutch control and you release again, right? I think it's that process. It's been a while, guys. So the point that I'm trying to make here, guys, is that when it comes to making buying decisions, we all follow the same step and the same process. No one is exempt from this process. The only difference is how quick are we to make those decisions? And also the difference is based on our behaviors and how we were brought up and our beliefs. How quick do we go from cold to hot, or how we go from cold, warm, and then hot? Everyone is different, but we all follow the same step process. And I'm going to show you how you can utilize and leverage advertising and also content. When you use both of them, you can now build a machine that can turn anyone who's cold into someone who's ready to go right now. Now, this right now could take 2 months for one person. It could take 1 day for one person. It could take 6 months for another person. We're all different. But if you have a system that covers everything, chef's kiss. I hope you guys are excited because there's a lot of value that I'm going to be dropping here. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly zoom in and then we shall begin. So the first step, guys, to really turning cold leads, Outlook and article cold leads, guys, okay, into piping hot clients. Right? Piping hot clients, like if you live in Cape Town, you know around this time it's super hot, right? Or Durban. How do we do that? So the first step and what we need to understand, and I need to explain this for people to really get this. Maybe a lot of you guys have heard about it or you have an understanding, but you don't really get it. The first step is you need to understand what process gets people and you to buy a service or product. So many times people, I have so many clients that I've worked with where it's like, a person is just curious. I'm like, yeah, I understand, right? Or, oh, but this person is cold, or this person doesn't want to move forward. And I'll try and understand from the client's perspective, and then I realize, okay, this person doesn't understand the process that gets someone from cold to hot. And normally what I do is I always try and find out from the client, what got you to buy into me? And then we go through their process. I'm like, okay, what got you to buy a house? What was your process? And we go, and they realize, oh, it's the very same process. And this is exactly what I want to teach you guys quickly, because this is the foundation. If you don't understand this to a T, everything else is null and void. And I notice in this industry, people don't really explain it in a way where people can fully get and understand. Guys, when you are buying something, you always go through this process. Each and every single one of us have went through this process. For some of us, it might have been a bit longer. Some of us might have been a bit shorter, but we all go through this process. What is this process? Okay, it's a 4-step process. And for those who don't know, guys, a funnel is a structured process that takes someone who doesn't know who you are and then gets them to become a customer. So because it's a funnel and it's a process, that means that there are systems at every single stage. So as I said, this is the process that gets someone to buy your services, or this is the process that gets someone to either buy a house or buy a book, to buy a phone, whatever it is. There's an awareness, interest, desire, action. And I'll just simplify it because this is the foundation and we'll cover the next step. Awareness. Remember, guys, many people don't realize this, okay? But before you bought, let's say, a new phone, or before you bought a new house, or whatever it is, you probably weren't even aware that you wanted it. Something must have happened to trigger that awareness, okay? You didn't just out of the, okay, this house came from the sky and you bought it, right? Something must have triggered that awareness. So the very important thing that you guys need to understand is that we all have a sense of awareness as to why something triggered the interest. So we first have the awareness and then we have the interest. So let me give you an example. Let's say, for example, I'll make a very simple one, right? I remember when I had, my stomach started feeling a bit of pain. And now I'm becoming aware of this pain. I'm like, what is this pain? I'd ignore it. I'm like, this pain is really bad. And this pain would happen over and over and over. And then eventually I'm like, okay, let me research. I go to my phone. I start doing research. Okay. What stage am I in now? I'm no longer in the awareness. I'm aware now that there's this pain. But remember, it's been triggering me for so long. I'm like, okay, I need to do something about it. So what am I doing? I'm now doing my research. And then I go and research, okay, stomach pain, what are the common causes? I'm doing my research. What am I doing? I'm showing interest. I need to figure out, there's interest in this pain. I need to figure out, what is this pain? Why am I feeling so much pain? Okay. And guess what? The reason why I'm doing research and why there's so much interest in trying to figure out what is the pain is because my desire is to feel better. Okay. So now I'm doing all this, and now let's say, for example, I'm doing research and it tells me, okay, don't do this or don't eat this. And what am I doing? I'm now trying the best I can to get rid of this pain. But let's say, for example, it's still not working. And then all of a sudden I see an ad on, let's say, for example, Facebook, right? This is all just hypothetical. I see an ad on Facebook, and it's a doctor who says, the common causes for stomach pains could be this. Could be stomach ulcer, could be food poisoning, could be this, could be this. If you're experiencing any of the other, here's one of the reasons why this could be happening. Now I'm watching this video and I'm like, interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. This doctor said it could be stomach ulcers because I don't think I resonate with the other three options. So maybe it could be a stomach ulcer. I do research on the stomach ulcer. And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't make sense. Let me just go book in a call with this doctor. And then what do? I go on that doctor's page. I see there's a WhatsApp button. I click on that WhatsApp button. I find out, hey, do you have an opportunity? Or is there availability for me to book an appointment? Yes, we do. Perfect. Great. I go see them. And you see, I went through each and every single stage. We go through all that stages with anything in life, guys. Any service, any business. Some of you guys might be like, this is simple. Yes, I know. But I think for many of you, when you start to run ads, when you start to create content and you start to become impatient, all of a sudden you forget that there's the process here. So what I'm going to teach you guys is how to understand where is your customer at every stage of the process, how to create content that caters to them at every stage of the process so that they can naturally ascend, and then how to use ads to find more people who are further down the process so that they can either see your content and then they move forward, or they see your ad, it's really the right timing, and then they're ready to take action. That's exactly what we're going to do now. So that's step number one, guys. It's very important to understand that process. I hope I explain it in a way that everyone can understand. So now, once you now understand the funnel process, especially when it comes to real estate, what is the next step? And this is where I see many agents just don't put enough time. Guys, you need to build your customer avatar so you understand their pain and their needs. Remember, guys, if I am a doctor, and if I can see that the common pain, right, the common reasons why people come to my practice is because they have stomach pains, why will I go and create content about how to create better posture for you to work better? It's incongruent. My market, and I've seen from the people who've come and attended my practices, the appointments, the bookings that we're getting, people are suffering from stomach issues. So why am I creating content about how to create better posture? Why am I advertising on, book a free appointment with me so you can get better posture? And then I'm surprised when those ads don't do well. Yeah, because there's an incongruency. I'm advertising a different type of service when people actually need more content on how to alleviate stomach pain, or if you have stomach pain, contact me right now. You get what I'm saying? So the point that I'm trying to make here is that for many agents, a lot of you guys are creating content or ads that are not incongruent or that are not congruent, not congruent with your market's pain. They're just not resonating with it. And if they're just not resonating with it, now of course you're not going to get results. Guys, every time I run ads, I kid you not, I'm even happy to go through my ad results. Every time I run ads, I get cost per lead. It's no surprise to me if I had to get 100 WhatsApp messages in a week. All because guess what? I know what my market wants. So when I create an ad, I know exactly how to trigger them. I know exactly how to get their attention. I know exactly how to talk to them on WhatsApp because I'm catering to their what? Pain. So that's the same thing you guys need to do for your market. It's different for everyone. And that's why I made two different scenarios. So let's cover each scenario. So you need to look at your market and understand your market very well. So let's look at scenario number one. And I know some of you guys might be like, this is basic, but there's a reason why, and I really want to break it down so you guys can understand how to use this in your content and your ads. So let's look at scenario number one. Okay, we've got this married couple, right? Let's say this is your average market, right? This is your audience, your avatar in your market. So normally what you've realized from the deals that you've closed, right? The deals that you've closed, that's very important. People that you've closed. Most of the time, not everyone, most of the time, married couples, they've typically been together for about 5 years, right? They, most of the times, they both work in corporate jobs. Most of the time, they started off renting a 2-bedroom apartment in Fourways. Let's say that's your market, right? Fourways, there's a lot of apartments. And most oftentimes, they have kids. What you've noticed, 2 kids in average. And then there's another one on the way. So in other words, they're a growing family. Now, because they both work in corporate jobs, they've both been working for quite some time, their credit and their finances are stable. Again, as an example. Now, for them, they're looking at options of whether they should buy a house or if they should rent bigger space. That is the pain. That is where they look at it, we're not sure, right? And then their combined monthly income is typically about 60K before deductions. Now, again, this could be the market in Fourways, as an example, from what you've noticed and the deals that you've done from your audience. That's example number one. Then we've got scenario number two, where it's a married couple. Okay, they've been together for 10 years. The husband is an entrepreneur. The wife is a stay-at-home mother. They live in a 5-bedroom mansion in Dainfern. They have 4 kids. The last born is currently matric. The other 3 kids are out of the house. The husband provides mainly through his successful business. All of the assets are under his business and not under his personal name. They are looking at options of downsizing or relocating to the coast. Why? Because the last kid is in matric, and let's say the child is going to be studying in Oxford, and they've got this big house, 5-bedroom house. All right. Now, let's say the entrepreneur's monthly income is about 600,000 Rand, for example. Awesome. Now, we have 2 different audiences. We've got the audience here, which is, middle class, majority of where the market is. And then you've got another scenario where you've got someone who's earning the top 1% of the top 1%, right? He's making about 7 million a year. Now, this is what's very key, and this is what's very important, all right? Once you can figure out exactly who is your customer avatar, typically, now you need to figure out, okay, what's typically the best way I can really put? What do they go through? What are their pain points? What are the questions that they have? And 9 times out of 10, you don't even need to think about it. Look at all the clients that you've had in the past. What are the questions that they asked you on WhatsApp? What are the inquiries that they have? What are those annoying emails that they would send every now and then, which was common and basic knowledge to you, but then to them, they didn't know. So for example, scenario number 1, if we're looking at this couple, right, for example, if we're looking at them, they're renting a 2-bedroom apartment. They have 2 kids and another one is on the way. So of course, a big pain point now is they've got a growing family. So now, guess what? They're looking at options of buying or renting a bigger space. So because you can obviously see where their headspace is at, now what you can then do, okay, this is what a smart agent would then do. Instead of you just posting your listings on your page where it has absolutely nothing, like it doesn't help in any way, right? Because look, they are looking at options. Didn't say they're looking for a 2-bedroom property. Didn't say that they're ready to purchase. Didn't say any of that. Are looking at options. So where are they in the process? They're not ready to take action. Okay, they have interest and desire. The interest is looking at property, but the desire is options. Why? Because what is the desire? They are a growing family. So because they are a growing family, they need bigger space. So now, if they see your post, which is just property, are you really alleviating that pain? You're not, because they're not at that stage yet where they're ready to take action. So what is the best way to speak to this couple? What is the best way to turn this couple where they don't have much information to a point where they're like, ooh, okay, now we know what we need to do. We're ready to take action. Remember, as I said, because we all go through this process. Some people go from awareness to action. Some people go awareness, interest, then action. Some people have to go through step 1 to step 4. So here's the key element here. The key element here is, all right, so I've noticed my market typically starts to look at options when they are a growing family. They start to look at, okay, what can our budget provide for what type of home, what type of family? So what content do you then put on your pages? All right, for example, if you're looking for a bigger space because you have a growing family, here are the options. Or if you're looking to upsize your home, here are the best ways for you to find a property, or here's a step-by-step process. You see, now that content, that message is resonating with who? This couple here, because now you're getting their attention. Or you could say, hey, if you've been renting for the past couple of years, here's the reasons why purchasing a property can be more viable. Or what is the best way to know when you are ready to actually purchase a house based off your credits and your finances? If you're a married couple, or if you are married, here's the best strategy for you to then buy a house in your name. You see, now you're creating content that's what resonating with who? This audience. And that is how you get, or you turn people from wherever they are, at what stage, up until they're ready to take action. Because 9 times out of 10, guys, it's not because these people aren't ready. It's because they haven't received enough information in order for them to make an informed decision. Remember, guys, in order for someone to take a confident decision to move forward, they need to be informed. But if they're not informed, they're constantly going to be searching. They're constantly going to be looking around. They're constantly going to be in limbo because they can't find that information. Yeah, they can go on Google. Yeah, they can go on YouTube. But we both know it's not reputable information. The same way when I was sick and I felt pain in my stomach, I mean, I was researching it. But then I'm not sure. Is it true? Is it not true? Then there's all these different options. The pain says I might have cancer. The pain says I might have, kidney stone issues. The pain says it could be appendix. You see, now my mind is going crazy. So now, of course, I'm in limbo because I don't know what it is. All right. But until I find the right information, until that pain is so unbearable and I'm ready to take action, most people will just wait it out. And that is the issue that I'm seeing right now in this industry, is that there's too many people in the market who are uninformed. They don't have any information on anything. Why? Because every agent just posts listings. Do you guys get where I'm coming from now? Your content is just not resonating with your market, and that's why your market is not moving forward. Or if they are going to move forward, they're going to move forward with someone who they know. So they'll probably go to the neighbor like, oh, who sold your house? Or who got that house for you? Oh, no, James. And they're going to go with James. That's how it works. So if you want to be the go-to person, the best way to do it is through creating the right content. But then you might be, Papa, I am creating content and no one's viewing my content. I'm going to get there now in a second. So the same scenario would apply for the successful person. The content that you'd create for this couple here, you can do for this person. Why? Because if you know your market very well, and if you're working with someone who's typically high in worth, these guys either have researchers, analysts, people already doing the hard work for them. People already did the research, so they can advise him on what's the best thing to do, because he has no time to go and do research. He'll either go and find someone who can find information for him to make an informed decision, or he probably has been through this process a million times. He knows exactly what he wants. So again, you need to then figure out what is the best way to get this person interested. What type of content can I create? So for example, for someone who's very successful, who's an entrepreneur, and let's say this is the type of market or clientele that you're working with, very high and high level people, you need to be at the space that they're at. What is the core thing that's causing them pain? Could it be a case where, again, remember, they got this big house, all right? The last kid, for example, is in matric. So then they either, again, they can stay in that house, but is it worth it? Or should they rather just find something a little bit more smaller, but at a coast, for example? Or maybe, they're just looking to downsize and still staying in the same area. But if you're looking here, they are looking at options of downsizing or relocating to the coast. So let's say, for example, majority of the market, once they reach the 60s, for example, they want to then retire. Now you can create content on that. You could say, here are the best strategies for you to retire and save as much money as possible in today's market. Boom. Now you're going to get this person's attention because you're speaking his language. I hope now this is really painting a clear picture. And I would say 9 times out of 10, the only way in today's market now, especially if you're looking to get more clients online, and that is the easiest way to get people, is you need the right content. Gone are the days where you can just post listings. That, guys, is done. Listings are for who? These are for people who already made up their mind and a decision on what they want. But the problem is they're a very small group of people. Okay, they're a very small group of people. And that's why that content that you create, which is just the listings, only works sometimes or it doesn't work at all because you're only speaking to a small group of people. Whereas with these people, 9 times out of 10, they're researching and they can't find information. You're not providing. So that's step number 2, guys. Build your customer avatar so you understand their pain and needs. Every single one of you guys should know your customer avatar, understand their pain and their needs. And then you turn that pain into what? A solution. Remember, guys, business is a value exchange. Okay, I've got this pain point. You've got the solution. I get compensated once I help you. It's done. So once you write down all of your market's pain points, and it's very easy to figure out the pain points, guys. You can go and ChatGPT. But 9 times out of 10, what are the objections that you're getting? What are the issues that people are asking you? You can literally just go on your WhatsApp and you'll find everything that you need there and then create the content. I'll cover in terms of what type of content you need to do. I'll show you what I did for a client of mine who wanted to get an idea and okay, what is the step-by-step process I need to follow? But I hope this is clear enough. Awesome. So now step number 3, and this is very important, is you need to start running targeted ads to your market and post content that focuses on their current pain. So I'm going to walk you guys through in terms of why ads and content is literally the holy grail. It's like water and Oros. It's combination ever, guys. All right, because the ads are going to get you people to view your page. It's also going to get you people who are either looking at options, curious, or they're at a stage where they're researching and they need information before they move forward. That's the nice thing about the ads. And then the content, what that's going to do is that, because remember, you're creating content now that's solving a pain point. So guess what? The people who see your ad, but maybe, they're not sure yet. They're still doing their research. They're going to find that information on your page with what? All the content. And then once they see all the information that they need and they're ready to take action, guess who they're going to contact? You. So let me walk you guys through this step by step. So with the targeted ads, all right, this is the first customer option. Remember, guys, as I said, you need to understand the process that your customer goes through. Okay, if you don't understand the process that your customer goes through, you're always going to feel lost and confused. So when we're running ads, we are mainly targeting people, or let me rather say, ads are going to target 3 types of people. It's going to target people who are not aware. It's going to target people who are aware of their pain. It's going to target people who are researching, and it's going to target people who are also ready to take action. Our goal always is to find people that are ready to take action. But as I said, it's a very small percentage. So for example, if you get 10 leads, I can tell you now 1 or 2 of those leads are ready to take action. Now, depending on how fast you respond to them and if you speak in their language, they'll move forward with you. And then I can tell you now, 2 or 3 of them will be researchers. Another 2 or 3 of them would be curious people. And then the rest would just be clickers. That, on average, for the 10 leads, that is the percentage that you're going to get. Okay? But now, if we had to remove the clickers, you literally have about, I would say, anywhere between 6 or 7 people who are in the middle. They're ready to move forward. They just need what? Information from who? From you. But if you're not speaking the language, if you're very aggressive, if I'm just looking because I don't have information and you're like, oh, well, if you're not ready to sell, let's not talk. It's like you've now lost the deal because you didn't understand where they're at, which means you didn't speak their language. So with the ads, this is how it works. Guys, I've spoken about my process extensively. If you want to go check out how the ads are set up and things like that, I'll send the link to the step-by-step process. So I just really want to explain this briefly, and then we'll cover the next step. So the first option that's going to happen is when you're running ads, the reason why we like ads, I like speed, guys. I don't want to wait 10 years for me to get the same database that a traditional agent got, when I can do that in 3 months. Okay, a client of mine who's got a database of about 5,000 homeowners now, and she did that in the space of 3 years. Whereas on most side of things, a traditional agent, when I say a database, this is people that she's spoken to, people she's had a conversation with, people who've seen her, people who know her. Versus the traditional agent, it might take them 5-10 years to get to that number. So that's why I like ads. Why? Because we can then use Meta's AI to find us the right people. to find those people in our area, to find people in the area who are already looking at property. That's the nice thing about Meta's AI, guys, is that it's already tracking who's liking comments on property, who's looking at property, who's commenting on property, who's putting posts or statuses on property. It's doing all of that for you. So why not pay Meta to go tell you, okay, here's the audience, we'll put your face or your ads in front of them. It's that simple. So for those who don't know, it's very simple, guys. We like to run lead gen campaigns, normally instant forms or conversions, but normally instant forms so we can get the information. And then this is where we do the targeting. Very simple. So for example, if my audience is in Gear, let's say, for example, in Stanton, we are telling Meta, we want you to find people who are interested either in buying or selling property in these specific areas, but exclude Alex because it's close to Stanton and we don't want the township, for example. Simple as that. Now, what is Meta going to do? Meta is now going to take these ads, for example, right? It's going to take these ads as an example, and then it's going to put it to homeowners that live in these areas that we are targeting. It's as simple as that, guys. That is all it's doing. And it's going to show it to homeowners who've expressed interest in property. So can you see, Meta's already doing all the heavy lifting for you. It's doing most of the heavy lifting, right? Now, these ads, guys, I didn't make up these ads. These are actual ads that we ran for our clients, and I'll show you some results. I will tell you now, these two ads are best performing right now. I think in the last session, I did one from scratch. But these two, Chef's Kiss, working absolutely well right now at the moment. This is still really working well. I haven't done that in a while, but I would say these two right now are the best. These are the ones that are really killing it right now. The buyer ads, if you're looking to get more buyers, this is just the typical style that we typically do. If you have a listing, we'll typically put 4 images in one, and then it works quite well, all right? So option one is we run ads to people who are in this area. They see your ad. Now that they see your ad, what is the option? Now they can contact you, right? But remember, these are either people who are just clicking, which is always going to be good like that, but there's also people who are curious, okay? There's people who are researching, and there's people who are ready to take action. So the main people that we want to be talking to are people who are taking action, of course, first priority, then the researchers, because before the researcher actually takes action, they do the research. The same way before you bought a property or a house, what did you do? You did the research. You looked at the numbers. You did everything before you made a decision. And then there's the people who are, for example, curious. Curious people, guys, are one step away from researching. The researchers are one step away from taking action. So if you understand that, then you know, okay, cool, this person is curious. Perfect. That means that they're one step away from research. So let me give them the right information and we find out what they need so that afterwards I can get them in that research stage. And then once they're there, you can guide them. Some people and my clients, what I've noticed, they know how to take people who are just curious into taking action. But it's all about asking the right questions or figuring out where they're at, which is what I'm going to cover now. So cool. You see that? Then what? We talk on WhatsApp. Now, depending on where they're at, this is the difference. So, for example, this guy, Mr. Edgar, right? This is brand new agent of Edgar, man. Shout out to my guy, right? His mom told him, don't do Facebook ads. This stuff doesn't work. I tried to do it. It didn't work. It's terrible and it's bad. And I was like to him, dude, that's your mother's belief because she tried to do it herself. You could either choose work with me or not. And he said, okay, cool, let's work. Okay, and even you can even see, he had people who are like to him, I'm just testing. And I said, look, this is what it means. They just need more information. And you can actually pin that. But look here, you got a property worth 18 million and I can come to the valuation in person, right? And then what is that? Where is she? She's in the interest stage. She wants a valuation. So what does that mean? She's interested. So what did he do? He went to go see her. And then they started chatting. And then guess what? Now she's in the research and development phase. She's just one step away from taking action. He's just one step away, literally one stage away from getting the mandate. But had he been like, oh, she just wants the valuation, oh, you know what, a bad news, then he would have lost that lead because now he's going to give all the information. She's going to be in research and development stage. He's now decided that she's not going to move forward. And then guess what? She's going to find another agent who did nothing, because he did all the hard work to get her to a stage where she's now ready. And when she's ready, she's going to work with someone else because of his mentality. So once you understand where every stage is at, guys, where every stage, where every lead is in terms of the stage of the sales process, it's easy. This is the ad that we ran. 81 leads, 10 Rand per lead. Okay. All from that. Now, again, here's the thing, guys. This is not to say all your leads are going to be like this. I'm just giving you examples of, okay, cool. This is what would happen if you have someone that's interested. But then Same process. If you see here, Ursula, who's also based in Cape Town, what does she say? So far in 3 days, 4 sold mandates. So in 3 days, once the ad was launched, they got 4 sold mandates. So in other words, what did they do? They found 4 people who are ready to take action immediately. Okay, does it mean that all the leads were ready to move forward? No. Okay, but there were people, there was a percentage of people ready to move forward. And that was the stage of the process, which is action. Here's another example. Okay, here's someone, for example, when you run ads and there's interest and there's action. So if you take a look here, thanks for your help, 2 mandates signed today. And I'm like, okay, walk me through your experience. Once you started running the ads. So watch this. I ran the ad from last night till this morning. So this was in a space of 24 hours. 7 people came in, the leads in total. I followed up with them on Privia using WhatsApp. The people answered me back, you see, send desktop valuation. So where were they at? They were looking for, they were interested, they were researching. Then my partner Lo called just afterwards to set up the meetings, very nice properties in the areas. So 7 people came in, and guess what? He got 2 mandates. So in other words, 7 people were interested, okay? And then they took action based off their process. So he understood exactly where were the leads at which stage of the process, and he knew how to follow up to get them to move and take action. That is the beauty, guys, when you run ads, is that you are mainly going to get people who are here. You're going to get people who are interested and who have desire. Okay, now all you just need to do is figure out what exactly is holding them back from taking action. I can't answer that for you because all your leads have different pain points. But once you talk to them, once you ask them the right questions, that is what's going to get them to open up, and then you can figure out what's the best way for them to take action. Remember, guys, everything is different. It could be a logistical issue. Someone could say, hey, look, I'm looking to sell, but not right now. Just reason why is because my wife is a contract is ending in 2 months. So we can't move, not right now. We have to wait till my wife is done. And once she's done, then we can move, for example. That's the logistical issue. But they're not going to, someone's not going to call you and tell you that information immediately. No, they might say, hey, no, we're just curious for evaluation. But they feel like, oh, it's just a valuation, and you've lost the deal until you actually figured out, okay, why are you looking for valuation? Why are you looking to sell right now? What got you to think about looking to sell? You see, then they start to open up. We're not going to tell someone our whole life story the first time we meet them. We have to trust them first. And that's the game when it comes to running online ads. So could come the case of, all right, Wandile, so if, for example, the ads get people who are interested who also take action, what about the people who, for example, they see my ads, but then, you know, they just want the valuation, or, they're just interested, or they're just doing their research and development? Those are one of the perfect leads. Why? Because they're literally 1 or 2 steps away from listing with you. What you just now need to do is make sure you have enough content that's going to drive them to take action. 9 times out of 10, they need to make that decision on their own. It should not involve you. What do I mean by that? You should not be the one who's pushing them to make that decision, because they know what you're trying to do. They know you want the mandate. They know you want it. So of course they're going to have their guard up. But what is the best way to turn them from, oh, I'm just looking, oh, I'm not ready yet, or I'm not interested, into I'm ready? This is the second option. So when people see your ads, remember, guys, when you are running ads, you have 5, 10, 20,000 people a month in the area who are viewing your ads. You have a lot of people. That's a lot of people who are looking at your page. Guys, think about this for a second, okay? Think about this for a second. 5,000 people, that's a lot of people. That can fill up a stadium. Not a big stadium, but you know what I mean. 5,000, that's a lot of people, guys. And if you just have listings on your page, you're losing out on them. So this is what you do. When you're running ads, you have your ads to talk to people who are intentionally ready to talk to you, but the people who are not ready, who you probably had a conversation with, or people who haven't even spoken to you yet, this is what you do. This is option 2. You want to make sure on your page, you have all the information that you need. You see, for this client of mine, want to sell your home fast? What is she doing? Boom. She's answering a pain point that maybe most of the sellers are experiencing right now in the area because sales are slow. Then she's got a picture, the areas that she's focusing on. I help you sell your home smoothly and stress-free so you can focus on your family. So again, what is she doing? Customer avatar. She knows that the people that she's working with want to focus on their family, want to sell their house smoothly and stress-free. And you see, she's targeting a market. Okay. So when you have a page that already speaks about that, now you have their interest. And of course, if you have your WhatsApp button there, boom, perfect, great. Because now they can click on that WhatsApp button and you can talk to them immediately. But this is just one part. This is just to be like, okay, this person is speaking my language. Let me find out, right? So that's where you have your profile. Great. Now, how do we then turn this person to someone who's ready to take action immediately? Remember what I said, understanding your market so we can create the content based on where they're at. So now, the next thing that you need to do is create the content that is in relation to the pain points of your market. So for example, I just took a quick screenshot of this young lady's content. I liked her content. If you take a look here. What to do if your landlord sells your rent property, cost of selling your property, thriving Cape Town property market, how to handle late rent professionally, what's your affordability, 3 tips for landlords, questions to ask when viewing a home. You see, I don't know her market. She knows her market well. But can you see her content is now geared and tailored towards what? The avatar. You can tell that she's speaking to a specific person. Now, the people who are at any of these stages remember guys, everyone who's at stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 has specific needs, has specific questions, has specific pain points. And what's she doing? She's speaking to, again, depending on who she's speaking to, I don't know who she's speaking to, she's speaking to all those different stages all those different leads at the different stages. That is the power, guys, behind the content. Remember, guys, you already have 5,000 people going to come and check out your profile. So why don't you give them what they want? So now they go check out your profile. They then look at your content and they're like, ooh, actually, I'm actually struggling with late rent. I've noticed that. Let me watch this video. Okay. So now you realize that, hey, actually, I realize that I'm getting a lot of late rentals. And I've done research and I just don't know what to do. And then guess what? You have a desire. What is your desire? You want rentals to come in on time. And then guess what? You saw a video, it answered your question, and what you do? Boom, you take action. But this agent won't know what that person went through, that process. Most people don't really do that. So you have to always reverse engineer to see exactly, okay, how can I create content and how can I position myself when I'm speaking to every lead at every single stage, for example? All right, I hope I was clear enough for you guys to understand that. So this is what it looks like. The decision process. Someone who is in awareness stage. I've been seeing your content, interesting. I have a lot of agents who watch my webinars and stuff. I saw your content, interesting. I don't jump for joy. Oh, okay, cool. Here's the lead. Let me close the deal because I know they're still at awareness. Okay. And then from someone who sees my content, then for example, or let's say for example on the real estate side, they see your content, interesting. I like your content. And then they see more of it, right? Which is pertaining to their pain point. They didn't realize they had a pain point. Now they're like, actually, I saw your video about whether I should get a custom CMA report. When's the best time to get a CMA report? I actually saw your content. I'd actually like a CMA report. You see, now there's interest. And then, for example, thank you for coming to my house. You know, we've been watching a lot of your WhatsApp story videos. We've been watching a lot of your Facebook content. When people come to our house again, we want to sit down and see how we can discuss how you can sell our property. Okay. And then later on, you get a text. Hey, we're ready to sell. When can we set up some time? This, guys, I kid you not. I can't tell you how many of my clients tell me this process happens every single time. Sometimes they even get referrals from people they don't even know. Why? Because even though maybe that person saw their ad, they spoke to the agent or they saw the content, at that moment, they weren't ready to sell, but they know someone who's ready to sell. Because they have that information, they go share that information with their friend who's struggling. Can't find an agent, who can't find the right person. And guess what? Because they referred that person to you, boom, it's an easy deal. That is the beauty around the guys. When you have your ads and then you have the content, I can't tell you how amazing this is. Okay, now, just for sake of time, I'm going to have to rapid fire go through this. I hope this has been valuable for a lot of you guys. So how do you know, guys, where the person is? So step number 4 is that you want to know where your leads are and adjust your systems where necessary. So when I say adjust your system, I'm talking about whether it's your ads, whether it's your content, whether it's how you communicate. Here the language signals, so you know exactly where they are on the stage of the selling process or the buying process. Someone who's cold, I'm not looking, I'm not ready, don't contact me, I'm not interested, or interesting. That's someone who's cold. They're not ready yet. Okay, but that's okay. Eventually they will, but your content will then be able to still speak to these people. Now, someone who's warm typically moves from this stage to this stage. Oh, I'm just curious. I was just checking. Let's check in a few months. I'm just browsing. I just want valuation. They're not cold. Okay. They're not saying no, but they just say, no, this is what I want. Oh, I was just, oh no, let's do this at this time frame. This is not bad. This is good because this means that they're one step away from being here. But the only way you can turn this person into this is through your information, through your content, through your questions, your quality questions to then see where they're at and educating them. And then someone who's hot, we've all experienced this. What are the next steps? How can we proceed? Can you come see us? What's the best time to start? This is what we're thinking. What are your thoughts? We all want this person. Don't get me wrong. I love talking to people like this, but I understand that not everyone is here because most people are either here or here. So it's my job, it's my responsibility to give them the right information, to turn them from this to this, and then from this to this. 9 times out of 10, my content answers all the people who are super cold. And then they start talking to me on WhatsApp once they're curious and they want more information. And then once we have a phone call or a conversation, or they see these sessions that I do right now and I'm answering their questions, then I start to get WhatsApps where they're like, cool, when can we proceed? But it's never this all the time, guys. I kid you not. I would do backflips, guys. I'd be a billionaire right now if all the leads that I got when people were super hot. No, that's not the case. That's why I go live. That's why I send emails. That's why I'm pushing content. Because what am I doing? I'm focusing on targeting these 2 people so by the time that they're ready, they pop me a WhatsApp and I know where to go. That is the key, guys. That is the trick. That is a key trick, guys, to get people super hot. You need to have the right systems, running ads, having the right content, speaking to the leads who are at this stage of the process. Now, remember, the only way you can speak to them, you have to meet them at where they're at. What pain do they have? How can you solve that solution in as quick, simple, easy way possible? There will be some people who will try to do it themselves, and guess what? They'll come back. They know it's not as easy, right? So when you're looking at this, guys, everyone buys in this process under your ecosystem, right? So for example, every lead that enters your phone, guys, I don't care if this person, you WhatsApp them, or they send you a message on Instagram, or they popped your Facebook message, or they send you a phone call, or they WhatsApp you, guys, the minute, this is your ecosystem, right? The minute they enter your ecosystem, they are either not ready yet, they're planning and researching, they're deciding, or they're taking action. It is now up to you to decide what you're going to do to get them to take action. And most agents, if they're not ready to take action, they skip that lead. And I'm like, you're missing out on so many deals. Because guess what? Someone who's not ready, someone who's planning research, and someone who's deciding, this is all you need to do. Your educational content needs to solve each of these problems based on where they're at. And then you move into the next stage. So your content needs to solve problems for someone who's not ready yet. And then your content needs to solve problems for someone who's planning researching. And then your content needs to solve problems for people who are deciding. And the easiest way is to do it, guys, WhatsApp stories. I know someone who's killing it right now. And what does she do? She posts content on her WhatsApp stories. What does she do? She posts stories of whenever she's doing a handover. So she does a lot of handover videos. So now the clients or the leads that she's talking are like, damn, I want to work with her because she gives champagne and gifts. You know, she makes an experience look good. And that's how she gets a lot of buyers because she sells development. So that's what helps her get clients. What you guys can do is whatever problems or whatever conversations you have with your leads on WhatsApp, whatever it is, guys, post it on your WhatsApp stories. The best way, guys, create a video. You're done. If you're self-conscious, you're gonna lose out on deals. Now, what you can do, and this is what I've been doing, you can go check out my Instagram. I basically then have like a video. Maybe I'm like at a restaurant or somewhere. I'll record it and then I'll put like some valuable context or post on, and then I'll post it. So I do a bit of both. I like to do video and I like to do that. But again, there needs to be some sort of education. And again, it doesn't have to be a 5-minute video. It doesn't have to be a 20-line text, 20 sentences. Short, quick, punchy. It needs to spark a conversation. It needs to be like, that makes sense. Ooh, that makes a lot of sense. I get why this is the issue. Once you give them that aha moment for when they're not ready yet, they're going to move over to the stage. Once you give them that aha moment for the planning and researching stage, they're going to move there. And once they finally get this aha moment, trust me, that's how you do it. I hope this has been valuable, guys. I hope you guys did get a lot of value in this. But this is the process, guys. It is that simple. Now, just for sake of time, and then I'll open up some questions, okay? This is something I did for a client of mine, a luxury-based agent. And I could tell that for an area waterfall, for those who know, waterfall is a very high-end area. She only sells homes for 20, 30, 40 M's plus. That's it. So she only does ultra high luxury. Now, for people in that market, trust is the most important thing. A rich person is only going to work with someone that they know, like, and trust. So because we were doing ads and we're doing content, our focus was how do we then turn someone who's very successful, who doesn't trust at all, how can we turn them to trust? And this is the strategy. This is literally what I sent over to them, okay, which is still working on at the moment. So the goal was more business and increase market share focus. There's a lot of competition there. So I said, we need to reverse engineer the money, right? This is exactly everything that I showed her. I said, okay, yes, you want more deals, but we need to understand that the only way we can get more deals, we need more trust with your market. The only way we can get more trust in the market, there needs to be some more familiarity. And the only way you can build familiarity is more visibility. So in other words, when you start off with visibility, that visibility will build familiarity, that familiarity will build trust, and then that trust will get closer to the deal. So I said that her clients require more awareness of her, higher level of trust for her, and then all the other to work directly with her. And this is the best process, but we needed to reverse engineer the process. So how was the strategy done? Well, number one, we need more visibility and familiarity. But first step is visibility. So how did I say? This is the process. We need to focus on an 80-20. Most of our time and focus should be focused on awareness and consideration content, okay, educational-based content, and also familiarity-based content, and then the conversion would be more focused on direct, hard-hitting ads, okay? So we knew that, okay, in order for us to get people to, again, be aware of her and be familiar with her before building the trust, this is what the plan was. So for awareness, okay, awareness for this stage, remember, I've been seeing your content interesting. The content that I pitched to her was, all right, we need to focus on more content, educational content. So this is what I did. I was like, look, the goal is to get all targeted audiences to watch, engage, and take action. So this is the type of content I said that she needs to start creating. Valuable-based content, market update content, anything that showcases that she knows what she's talking about and that's also answering pain points and questions. And then I said, we're going to track things like views, average percentage of views, engagements, likes, and comments. The goal here is to constantly bring in new audiences into our ecosystem, but it should be strictly focused on value building according to their property needs. So this whole focus was just getting more people to be aware of her. Content needs to be built on market updates and pain points only a waterfall owner would have as a potential seller, investor, or buyer. That was the only goal around the awareness side, so that people can see her like, I like this person's content. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I like this. And then they start to like, they start commenting, they start to share, they start to engage with it. That's the core focus of the awareness content. Now, once we have built a good base of awareness content, now we move over to consideration, which is where the ads come in. Now the ads, remember as I said, the ads focused on interest and desire. So now they'll be like, hey, I've been seeing your content and your ads. I'd like to see me. I've been seeing your content and your ads. When can you come to my house? How do we do that? So I said, okay, cool. This is where we're going to start running ads to your market, right? Once they've seen your content here, where we can say, hey, look, if you're looking to sell your house or if you're thinking about selling your house, click on this link, let's have a chat. And then in here, of course, this is where we qualify them. What's the main reason you're considering selling? Where should we send this information? And then there's an automated WhatsApp message that's being sent. Now, remember, as I said, guys, the ads is focused on getting people who are either have the interest or desire in waterfall. There's always people who've got an interest or desire to sell in waterfall 24/7. Okay, so we want to run ads to then target people who are at stage 2 and stage 3. And then we've got the content to get to people who are at stage 1. So we've covered stage 1 awareness, now running ads at stage 2 and stage 3. Okay, now I said to her, once you do this consistently, you've got enough content and you're also running ads at the same time. People are now going to have their pain points solved. They're going to see your face all the time. They're going to be familiar with you. There's got to be a level of trust. But remember, some people may take a little bit of time before they're ready to make a decision, but we don't want them to forget. So then what do we do? And this is where the action-based content comes into play, all right? And this is where I said, okay, cool. For the conversion-based ads, I call them the billboard-based ad, which is what every agent does, right? Where you've got your traditional photo. If you're looking to sell, contact us now, for example. Then I said, look, the goal of these billboard ads is to retarget everyone who has seen your awareness and consideration videos, images, and your content and your ads. So the goal here is to only target people who've seen her content, who've liked the content, commented, who've shared, the people that she's spoken to on WhatsApp. The nice thing with Facebook is that you can actually track those people and run ads directly to those people. Maybe one of the reasons why some of you guys see my ads all the time when I'm actually running them, because I know that we've spoken before and now you're going to see me all the time. Now, these are more likely people who already now follow you. They've probably spoken to you, engaged with you, and now they're ready to work or refer you to your clients. Okay, but now here's the thing. Many agents do these ads first, and that is the wrong way to go. You need to do these ads last. Once people already now follow you, have engaged with you, have spoken to you, you've built trust, you've built that element, and now they're ready to move forward, which is the action stage. That's exactly what I did to my client, or said to my client step by step, just to help her. All right, and it's exactly this, guys. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Once you guys understand this, you're good to go. Anyways, guys, I'm happy to answer the questions, but before I do, if you do want a free game plan session on, you can all build out your own strategy, you can pop me a WhatsApp, 068-626-8154. I know I covered a lot. I just wanted to give you guys everything to help you guys see that, understand where is your customers right now at the stage of the funnel, right? And then how to speak to them, and then how to also have content that can help them. You don't always have to post, guys. It doesn't have to be Facebook or Instagram. You could do TikTok as well. A lot of my clients are posting content on TikTok. Okay, a lot of my clients are posting on WhatsApp. You know your market best. But I always like to say, make sure it's Facebook, Instagram, as well as WhatsApp. Once you focus on those three, I kid you not, guys, you'll be wondering where all these deals are coming from, because now you've got an automated system, guys. You've got an automated system that is, one, speaking to people who are at the awareness phase, interest, desire, and action. When you're running ads and you have content and you're doing that consistently, you are targeting these three all the time. And that's how my client got 45 mandates in 3 months. It's because she did all three. She wasn't aware of it until she stopped doing it, and then she stopped getting a lot of mandates. Like, we need to get back to videos. And then she did it again, boom. So that is what I noticed. And I only share what I've seen and what I've seen work. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, please put them into the chat. But yeah, if you want a free game plan session, my WhatsApp number's there. Happy to chat with you guys. Was this valuable? Did you guys get a lot of value in this? Any questions that you guys have? Me? Let me see. Okay, no questions. I'm assuming it was clear enough. Hope I didn't give you guys the brain aneurysm with all this information. But it's very simple, guys. Create content that works for your market. Just post it consistently all the time, and then run ads to your market. Simple as that. Trust me, your market will find your stuff. They'll consume it, and then they're ready to go. That is the way that we are moving in this direction. That's just what I've noticed. Any questions, guys? Okay, I'm assuming everything made a lot of sense. And if you guys have any questions, as I said, if you want a free game plan session, guys, it's absolutely a free session, by the way, guys. If you want 2026 needs to look different for you, pop me a WhatsApp, there's my number. And then, yeah, we can definitely take it from there. But I hope it's been valuable, guys. Next week, I don't know, we'll see what we'll cover. But I typically cover where most of the people I engage with on WhatsApp are having troubles with. So if there is something specific that you want to see, let me know. And then I'm happy to walk you through everything step by step. But this is all you need, guys. This is all you need. All these companies that tell you, you just need to cold call or you just need a funnel, they're not going to break this down and help you understand this entire process. I don't know if they're not aware of it or if maybe they're trying to hide that information from you. But I'm here to tell you now, guys, like if you follow that, you're good to go. Anyways, guys, I hope this has been absolutely nothing but valuable. I will upload this. I did say to you, Sydney, you were asking for the last video. Let me just quickly attach it here. Pop me a WhatsApp, Sydney. Pop me a WhatsApp, and then I'll send you just a link to all the videos. We record all these sessions, so they're all here, and I break everything down in full detail. If you want access, just pop me a WhatsApp. I'll send it to you, and then I will also share this actual replay tomorrow via email. Yeah. Anyways, guys, it's been nothing but amazing. have yourselves a day, and peace and love, guys. Cheers, guys.